Well, first of all, Accenture Amazon Business Group has been around since 2015. It's a collaboration between Amazon and Accenture to solve the unique challenges of the enterprise and to bring innovative AWS capabilities at scale to clients that are in the Fortune 2000 type of space. For Outposts specifically is a really interesting thing. Last year this was announced. This year they've come out with the general availability and new feature sets around it, and it solves some really unique challenges for the clients that are struggling with regulatory demands or for latency needs, which require them to have more on-premise compute infrastructure. Because now they can take the very same skills and capabilities that they have for AWS in their own staff and leverage it for on-premise as well. So flexibility, better leverage of existing talent, and fixing some really difficult problems around regulation and latency. That's what Outpost is delivering for them now. What Accenture Amazon Business Group is doing is building capabilities, skills, starter kits, unique architecture assets to solve those problems of industries, whether it's financial services, manufacturing, utilities, or otherwise, so that Outpost is able to deliver for them the types of outcomes, the business outcomes that they're looking for. I would say almost every industry has unique needs for this. A great example is in defense industries, where there's data that really they have difficulty saying that we feel comfortable with the way that this data is being handled. Another great example, and maybe even better one, is where there's low latency requirements for processing of information. Let's say you've got a manufacturing shop floor where there's a lot of telemetry of robotics information coming in. You need speed in processing that, and unfortunately the speed of light is the speed of light, and if the data has to transmit over a long distance, that speed may not be what you need it to be in order to provide the most efficient control systems for your shop floor. So Outpost can solve those kind of challenges and a whole lot more. Yeah, so there's a lot I'm excited about with the announcements that have been made here at AWS reInvent 2019. I think that some of the stuff happening around application-specific integrated circuits and what AWS has done to introduce their own unique chips is going to further lower the operating cost of things like machine learning, as well as even standard compute, to provide even better performance and value for enterprise customers. I think that's a really great outcome. I'm also really excited about wavelength. I don't know a lot about it yet, but that announcement caught me a bit by surprise. But I believe that building applications out at the edge is going to be yet another way that AWS continues to embrace compute and public cloud needs outside of the centralized data center, which I think they're probably best known for. And that announcement, plus what they're doing, say, with site-to-site VPN and other areas, just really underscores how much AWS is getting into the overall ecosystem of compute around the world, not just in the centralized data centers where perhaps they're best known for it. And I think that we're only going to see those things kind of accelerate, and uniquely for our clients in Accenture and what we do with the Accenture Amazon Business Group, we serve clients that really need those kinds of solutions in order to solve their business problems and bring new innovation even faster so that they can stay ahead of the competition. I think this is actually maybe one of the most interesting and maybe kind of thought-provoking things that AWS has done. And it was almost a footnote type announcement, but it actually could be one of the more pivotal things that they're starting to do, which is to take more of the services across Amazon and make them available from AWS as services. And it causes people to reflect in industry to say, could I change my business processes? Could I actually reinvent my industry because of capabilities like fraud detect and change processes that I've been doing perhaps in my industry for ages based on other best practices and innovation that I couldn't possibly build myself. And I think AWS is moving up the stack a lot in terms of their capabilities by introducing something like that. So what seemed like kind of an innocent announcement that was really appealing maybe to e-commerce retailers and others, I think is really just the tip of the iceberg of other things to come. So what's next? Introducing of third-party logistics capabilities, open sourcing of other capabilities. I think those things are probably all on the drawing table. And I know I'm speculating a little bit here, but that was, to me, a really interesting announcement, and it shows their willingness maybe to share more of the capabilities and features underneath of what Amazon runs on every day. What's kind of interesting is when you sit in the keynotes and you hear how enthusiastic the audience is about what seems like an esoteric, very technical announcement that Andy Jassy's making. And the reason that it resonates with this audience so much is, first of all, the audience here is a lot of technical gearheads, kind of like myself. And I tell you though, the chief software engineer in me hears things that they're announcing and knows that those announcements are coming from customer feedback that they've gotten over the course of the year. So they are intimate with their customers. They know who's using their products and know who's using it at scale. And I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, I spent time with some of their leaders in the serverless product area, and they were sharing with us some of their plans for the next year. And the group of us that were there were telling them about the feature sets that we thought were most important to us. They were listening very carefully, hearing things from us that perhaps were missing in their roadmap that we felt was very important, and hearing about things that we thought should be adjusted as well in their current product set. They take that feedback, and then the announcements that you hear yesterday are things that come from sessions like that. Not just the event yesterday, but over the course of the prior year. So I'm always really impressed with how carefully AWS listens to their customers and takes the time to go back and reflect that, not just as new product features or announcements, but throughout the entire year in the product set and services that they offer under AWS.